How are you guys? How are you guys? Listen, the kettle just boiled. We gotta get a cup of tea. Be right back. Well, hello guys. Welcome back to War Game in China live today on a Sunday, beautiful Sunday. Um, I hope somebody will join me today. I've been playing Yang Quan this morning. I did a quick video on the modifications I'm gonna play that game with. I just uploaded it, so it should be on YouTube. And today I wanted to talk about 28 millimeter. Now, I war game in 20 millimeter, and recently I had the opportunity to paint some figures for my mate Jalen. And Jalen, I don't mention Jalen much. He does a lot for this channel. He's my best mate, and he's not a war gamer per se, but he does love war games and pictures of them, and he does love my work, and he loves the history, and he contributes quite a bit to the channel. And the 28 millimeter figures that Jalen got me were Warlord games. And I mean, I was, as I said before in the previous video, I was blown over by the quality of them. And, but the price blew me away too. They're not cheap figures. And, even though they are beautiful figures, they're not cheap. They came up beautifully. Anyway, Jalen was very impressed with them, and he's moving. He hasn't got time at the moment to have them in his house. He's moving, so I still got hold of them, and I was really impressed with the detail on them. This is the first blackwash I ever did, so I was really impressed with that. I was really impressed with blackwash, and it got me thinking of 28 millimeter in general. Now, the only person I know that is truly a 28 millimeter player is my good mate Brian over at World War II War Games, which is his channel, which is a great channel. You should check it out. And what he does is he takes his historical scenario, and he does China too. He has a game campaign where he's doing China, the 29th Army. Which, good on you, Brian. And you should check it out. So he gets all his scenery and the scenario historically correct, and then he introduces a weird aspect of it, like a monster or a person with super abilities, and it just looks great. But he's the only chap that I personally knew who played and is a 28 millimeter guy, and his channel, Weird World War II, you should really go and have a look at. And as I said, he's the first guy that I know that I knew that was like into 28 millimeter. And then I got to know Eugene more recently from his channel, Lessons from the Front, and again another 28 millimeter player. and he plays bolt action. I don't know. I think the rules that Brian uses are weird World War II. Eugene from Lessons from the Front plays bolt action, and just recently, hang on. Just recently, I came home and Jalen, my best mate and subscriber, contributor to this channel, has sent me this. And this has got everything in it. I mean, it's like a 28mm paradise for the game, like, oh, that's a starter set. So, that's bloody impressive. So, I opened it up. And I had a look through it. And I was impressed, It's got a tank and American half track and 20 figures. And I mean, and a rule book. And this is the old rule book, and there's a leaflet. The next rule book's for free. There's a voucher for it. But I was really impressed by the packaging of it. I was really impressed by how the whole game is from factory to get to table. It's all a marketable experience. I don't know if that's the correct way of saying it, but like a very big business. I mean, I realize it belongs to Warhammer and they're a billion-dollar enterprise, multi-billion-dollar enterprise. However, when I looked at the book, I discovered that for bolt action, they're not. Let's say, for example, it doesn't replicate any of the historical squad or unit structures. It gives you unique squad structures unique to bolt action, which then then you have a game that's kind of historical. But the thing that got me was 129 pages of rules. 129 pages of rules. I mean, and then you've got every army has got its own rules and own setups, So for me, although I was really impressed visually by all of this, I really was. And I was really impressed by, the quality of the whole thing, from the figures to the books to the paint guides, to just the box itself, It's just quality all the way. It's quality. But I think at 129 pages of rules, I've got better things to do than 129 pages of new rules. So I'll be sticking to rapid fire. I will be using this stuff because I will use the Japanese, even though they weren't quite right for the. I'll use the Japanese in 28mm Japanese in some skirmish rules, but I won't deploy them according to how you play bolt action. I'll deploy them according to platoon structures of the Japanese army and Chinese army. So I mean, I suppose we're going to get some Chinese figures next. But hopefully I do have a contact there. Studio Historia. I hope you did make those 28mm Chinese figures you asked me to consult on, or I was answering your questions on anyway. A birthday coming up, so I'll probably be sending them an order. So getting back to 28mm, I was impressed by the figures. I was impressed by the sprues because they were multi-pose sprues, so that you get 10 or 20 different figures out of the one sprue. And pose them with different weapons, and I thought that was great. And thanks, Jalen. We'll certainly get something out of it. But 28mm, just like, it wasn't any easier to paint. It does take up a lot more space to battle. But when you put it on the individual bases, it is more, you feel like it's more, I feel like it's more of a miniature than what I do, which is a toy soldier, with the black wash. Makes it a historical miniature, I suppose. Now, 10 minutes in. Tea's not cold yet. Nobody's joining us. Well, I did it at the last minute, didn't I? Now, everything I wanted to show you. My friend and another subscriber, and one of your fellow subscribers, sent me some 28mm figures. And these are all scratchbook 20mm figures, and these are all scratchbook by him or figure conversions. And thank you very much, Alistair Clark. And a lot of figure conversions have been sitting on this tray for a few weeks now. So anyway, I don't know if you can see them, but they are some nice conversions. And that's about 20 figures there that he sent me. So thanks very much, Alistair. Thank you for everybody who sends me things on this channel. I do everything I receive. I'm very grateful for. Thank you, guys. And those figures will be going with my 29th army. Let me just have a better look at this figure. Look at this figure. Look at this figure. Isn't it super? Mm-hmm. It's a superb figure. So I'm very happy to add that to my army. Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Alistair. So getting back to the box, this Allen Assault box, I can't believe it had everything in it: dice, rules, the lot. It will be a while though before I start to paint them figures. I want to get back to my own 29th army first. So I was wanting to talk to people about 28mm figures today. So this bolt action is the first figures I've ever looked at price-wise. It ain't cheap. So what other figure makers would you recommend to me? Because it might be, because look, I had a look at Studio Story's site the other day, and I couldn't see the Chinese figures on it. So maybe they didn't release them. Hey, hello, Jamison. You just painted a square of 28mm Chinese from Eureka Minis. Okay. What were they like cost-wise? What did it work out to per figure? Right? Because this Warlord Games is freaking me out how expensive they are. And Eureka are Australian. I can get them in Australia. So yeah, I'd be interested in how much they were. I might even go on the website now and have a look too. Cheers, babe. So you game totally in 28mm? That's all right. $30 for a squad of 12. Then metal, yeah. And Eureka's an Australian company, so it should cost me a little bit less than that. Yeah, are they in Newcastle? Whereabouts in the US are you, mate? Oh, Arizona. Awesome. Nice. I bet it gets cold there during the winter, doesn't it? Yeah, we're in Sydney. So yeah, back to the 28mm figures for this lot. Oh, okay. New Zealander. Landed the wrong white crowd. So these are the Sprue. I don't know if you guys are familiar with them. All of them are multi-pose. And I was really impressed with that. What else was in the box? Oh, yeah, nice. Couple of bunkers and spider holes. It's a whole kit and caboodle. I mean, but it wasn't cheap. I mean, it doesn't seem to me that anything War Games does is cheap. So, what were you painting your? Yeah, so I would like some 20mm Chinese for the Nanko campaign, and perhaps some guerrilla actions. So I was probably thinking of about 35 figures. No, I wouldn't want 51 figures for a full company, for a full platoon, because I would want regional troops. So, I don't know, 47 troops perhaps? I don't know. Between 50, probably about 40 odd I'd want. And for Japs, I'd want about the same. Yeah, so 28mm for me is look, I really appreciate the figures. As I said, the sculpting and the beauty of them, even the proportions. Sometimes 20mm are too fat, too thin, but 28mm seems like the right proportions. But I'm not going to really expand beyond the platoon. They'll be for the Nanko campaign, so I want some with swords and bolt action rifles, C96s, sandals, you know. But I'm definitely going to look up the Eureka miniatures when I finish my podcast today. So as I said, it's a lazy Sunday. I've prepared two turns of the Battle of Yanquan in my shed already. I've done a video. And Yanquan's going to be interesting engagement. And funnily enough, when I do, the people that I end up talking to when I want to find out things for this channel, and because I don't mind asking questions. And generally, when I tell people are always, well, what are you asking me that for? And when I say to them, well, it's a wargaming channel, I'm trying to find out about this army that was underscore and da. And you go, oh, and because it's so interesting and unique, nobody's ever asked me about that. Most people, I've never had anybody who didn't want to contribute, especially if they had knowledge on the subject. So it was an interesting couple of weeks since I set the table up and since I actually started playing today. Because sometimes I just have to set the table up as a wargamer, not to game on it, but to inspire me to amend the rules and get the game going. You do the research. Because a set up table just beckons you. All right, man. Well, James Jamison went. And I'll probably finish my tea and have a go too. It seems very quiet. And yeah, not much going on. I mean, I'm not much of a talker, man. I probably should have done a painting chat, and at least I could have sat here and painted and waited for somebody to join me. But nah, it's not my style. I'm more off the cuff. So I finished this. I finished my tea. Say goodbye to you. No, you're still there. No, my screen says you're gone. Well, if you're still here, bro, I'll keep talking. That's what I'm saying. Because you see, I work alone a lot, so you end up talking aloud. People say how you talk to yourself. No, I talk aloud. Like, you're wondering about something, so you ask yourself a question aloud. Where is that ball going to fall when it drops? I'll say that out loud because I work alone much of the time. So yeah, love to talk. I'm just going to waffle on today. I've worked 6 days this week. I just wanted to relax today, and I realised I didn't want to put the effort in to doing another historical video today. So I thought I'd do a chat, and the video that I did today was just about modifiers. I'm going to play my game, but I think I'm not rushing my game. I'm having a kind of game where you've paid up, right? How long did that take you? Yeah, so I'm gonna feel my way through this game. I'm not gonna rush this game. A couple of months. Yeah, I'm slow too. I'm not a quick painter. Well, no, I'm not a quick painter. I'd probably take me longer than that, and I don't know if I could focus on one thing because I can lose my mojo a bit too, you know. But I took a road trip with a buddy recently and went to a hobby shop a fair distance away in another city, and I got a few kits on the bargain shelf, and that was like 6 weeks ago, and I haven't even finished them. And usually I've got a good work rate, but when you've lost your mojo, you've lost your mojo. You can't force creativity. You cannot force creativity. Um, so yeah, just getting back to it, getting back into it this month, very slowly. I thought, I have the game, finish painting these planes. I've got a few boats I want to build. I've always got so much I want to do. And this is why, too, that my terrain will always remain old school because I'd rather have a new army and a new armored car than spending big money on terrain or getting that thing or building that thing. And because I don't do the same battle twice, um, I'll just keep this table old school and simple. Although I have been looking at another thing I've been thinking about building is a temple. The temple at Taiyuan. I've got so many other buildings to do too, so I don't know. Do this video today. Oh, it's a lovely day too. It's been, for Australia, for a Sydney winter, it's been a bit cold. It's been very wet, but today it's just a lovely, cool day. It's quiet. I'm enjoying my day off today. Yeah, maintaining your mojo is really hard. What kicked me off the other night is I watched King Kong -1, Godzilla -1, and that got me at least working on the Japanese airplanes I bought. And talking to the people I talked to this week about how opium affects people. I met some or I got to know better some factors of people that I didn't know, hidden strengths, hidden weaknesses, as it were. So I had a very interesting couple of weeks asking the questions that led me to the modifications I've come up with. Yeah, I've always got projects to do. I've got boats to do, I've got ships to do, guns, armored cars, an armored train, temples, a train station, an abattoir. The list of things I've got to build is the Great Wall. all these things I want to get built. I know where I'll put my shed. I'm going to trade the shed in for a TARDIS. Yeah, so I don't know. Today, I just I made a live video because I'm not going to do. I decided that I'm not going to concentrate so much on live videos, but I wanted to use it. I wanted to today talking about 28mm to bring people's attention to what my mate Brian is doing over Weird World War II, because I think it's very unique, and I really respect the research side that he does, historical research for the Chinese side that he does. So, 28mm for that. And actually, I was hoping he'd get online and tell me where he's got a few of his figs from. So, just a minute, I'm going to get my cigarettes. But right, so do you play Bolt Action? Because I couldn't believe 129 pages of rules. 129 pages of rules, mate. Do you play Bolt Action? It's an amazing book. I do play BA. How do you remember? I'll never get used to 129 pages, mate. You get used to it. You love it. Fair enough. See, my rapid fire rule book, I think it's 60 pages and like one chart. Yeah. Well, this is why I stick with rapid fire too, because there's been rapid fire reloaded since then. But I've been playing it 15 odd years. I just know everything. I know the play sheet off by heart. I don't need to read the book. I just know the rules. Or if I am doing it wrong, I've been doing it wrong for so long, and both sides get penalized the same way. The same rule applied, so it's not wrong. This is what I didn't like about this book too. Like, it treats the forces a little bit, and obviously I'm not a player, but it seems to me that each force was built to be unique. And although I do like the idea of that, I think that dictates why the squads aren't the historical squads, but the bolt action equivalent of the historical squads. So I found that interesting, but it didn't quite it didn't butter my pumpkin. Yeah, 1 hour war game rules. I showed you that. They're free online, aren't they? But I'll probably just stick to rapid fire. And also, I think I might try these 1 hour war games for 28mm, and because they are free, so that's an accessible game for everyone rather than people wondering about having to go buy a bolt action set. So no, that's probably what I'll do. That's a good tip. Thank you, Jamison. Yeah, 28, and they're free. That's what I'll go for. That's what I'll go for. Especially if they provide the skirmish type game that bolt action seems to. And any other companies you could recommend to me for Chinese trips? Because that's a 28mm means whole new kettle of fish. And also, what I noted was that the vehicles, some guys, Enzio miniatures, okay, for provincial trips. Cool. seems to be a lot more available in 28mm than I had first anticipated. France. I might be a bit too conservative to be buying anything from France. No, my brother lives there. Yeah, I have a brother who lives in France. Models, huh? So, what scale do you buy your models in? Do you buy the bolt action models, or are you like buying buy 148 models? Because that was a big question for me too. Because I might want the truck. I think the bolt action models. Hang on, I'll have a look. I don't know what scale they are. 154, something like that. 156. Yeah, I didn't think 148 looked right either. But you go with what you go with. So 156. Is there any like die-cast companies who just make 156 if you want to do some conversions? Because it does seem like a scale that seems familiar to me for cars and things. See, because die-cast trucks can always be converted into something if they're from the right era and you've got a hacksaw and a bit of time. You've seen my work. You've seen what I've done. Because I'm assuming that you do watch the channel. Yeah, lots of plastic in 156, but it's pricey. See, I'm a skinflint when it comes to war gamers now because I've got so many armies that I spend good money on for years, and I don't get a game. I play China now, and I know that God willing, I'm still alive in 20 years' time. I might be over China. I don't know what I'll be doing. So yeah, I don't want to spend too much money, and obviously for China, I don't really need. A lot of models because even if I was doing air support, because of the high distance, I just use 172, and Chinese don't have much. As the Japanese, it'll be a question of making a couple of armored cars. So I'd want the trucks for the wheels. Nah, Spanish Civil War is a lot of converted trucks and armored trucks, yes, but I could have gone that way. But to be honest, when I started gaming for the China, it was either start China or start Ethiopia, and the channel was the same. It was either going to be like Ethiopia or China. But China was what I thought I had a little bit more knowledge on because I don't know much yet. I only have a little bit of knowledge. I'm not an expert on this. I'm just a keen amateur historian who shares my understandings. But yeah, the Spanish Civil War, it is interesting, but yeah, it's the same. You wouldn't have to build much stuff for the Abyssinians, for the Ethiopians. That the figures would be hard. Although I think again, you see in 20mm there are a few things I could convert for the Ethiopians, but I've got no idea about 28mm. But as I said, I didn't do it. I'm China, and I enjoy making the videos. I enjoy these little chats. I enjoy making all the things with China. It's just always fascinated me. So I'm going to probably stick with China for a long time to come. I do have Italian armies, 4, that I could use for the Spanish Civil War. But nah, I prefer China. An allied campaign that I was thinking of that I'd like to do would be the invasion of Madagascar. But again, very obscure. And, I can keep making videos on China until the day I die. It's a 14-year war. And there are just so many aspects of it that have never been, nobody's ever made a YouTube video on or discussed on video on. So, I could make videos on China probably for the rest of my life. They're just so it's a vast subject. It's a vast subject, and I mean, even with the armored cars, if I just said, right, I'm just gonna do armored cars, and that's all I'll do from China. I still got another 6 or 7 to make and introduce to you. And then there's the Japanese armored cars. There's probably the same number again I want to introduce you to. Then there's the stuff on the rails, and there's more boats. So even if I just ignored the history and just did the vehicles and equipment, I could still go for years. So with the battles and the campaigns and the vehicles, equipments and guns and the armies, I could go on for a hell of a long time. Hell of a long time. Hello, we've got two people with us now. How are you, mate? So just a quick one this morning. Is there anything that you'd wanted me to ask about the channel? You wanted to ask me about the channel? Is there anything that you want me to cover? Did you watch my last video about the Yan Quan? Do you think if I did a live thing like this and made something, that'd be more interesting to you? Although I'd have to. I could set it up so I could have the camera zooming down and working on something, like building something. But I need feedback. I've had a request to build some houses. Would you like me to do that? A live game? Well, actually, I did play a game once live with Brian from World War II. So I could do that, but it takes a long time. I mean, it's I could do it. I mean, but it would just take a little bit of setting up. And I want to clean my shed because it's a mess. So before I walk around the shed doing camera set and everything, now I'll clean the shed first. But yeah, not a bad idea. Houses, yeah, some buildings. Okay, some buildings, and because I just like. So if you want me to do buildings, okay. What I'll do is I'll put a notification up about what to go and buy, what we'll be building with, what you'll need, and then a date that the live podcast that I'll go live with it, and we'll do a live build. How's that? Because I would think mainly to build from either foam board or balsa wood. Which for you is the easiest to get your hands on? Balsa wood or that foam board? I can get both, but I know if you're living in certain areas, you can't get balsa wood. And you got to get balsa wood too, not paulownia. Yeah, because you can go in and it looks like balsa wood, it feels like balsa wood, but it don't cut like balsa wood. So don't get paulownia. Get balsa. All right, so you get that. All right. Well, what I'll do is I'll do exactly that. I'll put a communication up. Tell us all what to have, and the time that we're going to do the build. Done. All right then. As far as the channel's going, I'm really enjoying doing the channel still. Hello, Grims. How are you, mate? Nice to see you. I love your feedback, mate. You're so positive. That's great. I really appreciate it. Thanks. Yeah, so we're just talking about 28mm figures. That was mainly what we were going to talk about today, 28mm figures. the models. 156 is what me and Jemison think you should have. 148 is what Brian from World War II thinks you should have. And thanks, mate. And these manufacturers. And Jamison's telling me that Eureka Miniatures in Australia do 28mm Chinese. And he also said there was a French company. Let me see if I can find it. Anzio Miniatures that do regional, so provincial warlord troops, warlord forces. So that's certainly two manufacturers that I didn't know about. I'll look them up. So if you're a 28mm gamer, or what are you, a 20mm gamer, 28mm gamer? Just talking about the pros and cons of this rule book, which I don't play, but at 129 pages of rules, I don't think I will play. And Jamison again has put me onto a rule called, what were they called? 1 Hour War Games, and that's a free downloadable set of rules. So, 20mm, mate. Yes, that's God scale, you see. 28mm, well, that's for lunatics, and 15mm. Tis the devil's scale. Nice. You have a nice small nationalist army. Nice. I would like to see it. Are you guys on social media? If you're on Facebook, I do post in a few groups there. Friends of Rapid Fire Wargaming Rules. Wargamer Oz, 20mm Wargamer Ramblings, Super Cheap War Games. Yeah, I've got a presence on Facebook for Chinese stuff. I would love to see your Chinese army. You can email them to me. My email address is available on there. And I'll show you these. My friend sent me some 20mm. I know that you've seen them already, Jemison, but I'm just gonna show them to Grim. Some 20mm figures my mate Alistair subscriber sent, and beautiful figures, and they're all conversions. And there you go. So yeah, subscriber sent me these. Alistair, cheers, Alistair, if you're watching. You watch this? Yeah, very nice. And I got sent the Island Assault set by my mate and subscriber Jalen, who also contributes a lot to this channel. Jalen does. And today I'm just talking about, because I'm going to be doing 28mm, but only at platoon level. I won't use the bolt action rules because they're not. I just don't like them. I just don't like the rules. I don't like anything that's 129 pages long. I mean, I only do that kind of paperwork at text time, you know. Yeah. My email's on here. You just got to look for, when you go to the home, Book Game in China, look there, my email's on there. Or you can just message me and I'll, send it to you. You send it to me, but it's on there. You don't need to call me sir. My name is Adam. And as a wargamer, if you don't know this, as a wargamer, my handle is Army Biscuits. And it's a long story how I got that name. So you'll find my work online as Thompson Army, necessarily as Wargaming China. Wargaming China is just my YouTube channel. As I said, I'm going to do 28mm wargaming. There'll be skirmish rules. I'll be skirmishing. I'll look at these 1 hour war game rules. I'll take a quick, and I'll build something Japanese small and something Chinese small and 28mm. That's a platoon size. And I was just wondering, maybe I'll make an armored car for both sides, something like that, something simple. And I've got a game to go back to today, and I've got a game to go back to, and probably going to give this another 10-15 minutes, give it an hour, then I'm going to go back to play my game, and that should only hopefully that'll take me a few hours. But as I said, I was pouring my way through it because this game I'm doing today is an experimental one. I'm experimenting with some rule modifications. Is there anything? So, cheers. Thanks, mate. Yeah, I do enjoy building boats and ships. I do enjoy that the most, I think, building ships and boats. I think they're the prettiest things you can put on the table. So anything that's visually appealing. I mean, I think airplanes are prettier than ships, but I'm just not that good a modeler to start making my own airplanes yet, Especially when, for the model, I never pay more than $15 for an airplane, or try not to. So I don't really have the motivation to build airplanes like I do ships, because if you want to buy ships, they are bloody expensive. They're going to try to make some. Well, we're going to do buildings here next. And as I said to the other two chaps watching, what I'll do is I'll put a notification up as to what you should have, what you need, and when we'll do a live build, and we'll do some buildings. As far as boats go, there is one I'm thinking of building. Well, actually, there's more than one I'm thinking of building. But at the moment, I just can't get my mojo right for it, because you can't force creativity. Yeah, you can't force creativity. So, what I think, if you're going to make some boats, is search the $2 shops, the bargain shops, the reject shops, and you want some toy boats for the hull, and save yourself the work, and then just rip the top off, cut the hull down, and dig in your boat, because doing the hull is a lot of work. And if you can buy one already made, you just need a hacksaw to cut it down. It's a lot easier and cheaper too. So yes, hit the $2 shops. I always hit them. I always hit the $2 shops. I've been buying paintbrushes from them now. I get a pack of full paintbrushes for $6.50, and they're good enough. The quality is I've been painting figures with them. I painted the figures you just seen with them. So well, we're live now. It's always on there if you want to see it. Anyway, yes, as I said, look, I'm not the best communicator, and it's hard to just keep talking, So 1 hour war game rules, 28mm for the Battleland Co. And we'll see about building boats in the future. I also wanted to have a look at look. There are so many things that I want to build, guys. Just so many things I want to build, And I'll be honest with you, when you work with wood, especially, not so much houses, but when you're working on an armored car, or so much of this things the work time is just contemplating the next thing you're going to do, how to do it right. So if I had a YouTube channel, and you'd be boring for you to watch me make an armored car or a ship, because it just takes so bloody long. I can knock out a building in a couple of hours, but not an armored car or a ship. They take a long time. And as I said, a lot of the work is just pondering the next move, pondering the next build. Because when I build, a lot of the time I don't know how I'm going to finish it. I just know how I'm going to start it, and then I hope that that will give me an inspiration and the idea of how to finish it. I'm very much if you don't try, you'll never know kind of guy. Thanks, mate. Yeah, I put a lot of effort in my own cars, and I never know how long I'm going to build. They're going to take. I never know, and obviously because I work from one or two pictures, there's always one side of the armored car that I can't see, so I don't know what it looks like. So I'm just working on a guess, But yeah, I do love my armored cars the best. I love making the ships, then the armored cars, and then the ships are what gives me the most joy. Even how on the table, I just love having ships on the table. For me, you just the table just looks better with boats and ships on it. I mean, I love tanks too, but in the War of Resistance, you don't get much tank action, but it is coming. It is coming, believe it or not, guys. I'm not going to name them who they are, but I'm going to bring you a battle in the future, probably next year, that all the written historians will tell you, well, that didn't happen, but it did, and it's an armored battle. So that'll be next year. I've got a bit more building to do, a bit more building, a bit more research, get the pieces together. But other than that, just plodding along. I'm plodding along. You probably won't see me doing any of the battles of Wanjialing for a while, because I got to build some mountains for that, some specific mountains, and I'm kind of putting that off because I haven't had the creative spark to go, oh, that's how I do it. I haven't had that yet, but it will happen. So we're going to be concentrating. We'll probably go back. We'll probably stick with the 22nd Group Army for the next couple of episodes and see how that goes. I've got more armored cars to bring you. I've got more stuff for the railway to bring you to. A lot more stuff for the railway. I'm working on some guns too. Always more guns. I mean, because China had so many different types of guns in service, but each one was in such limited numbers. Yeah, mountains are a pain, but these are like witches' hats. They're about 600 meters high, and they're literally like witches' hats. So they're not as sprawling as one would think a mountain is. They're very peculiar mountains in this. They're like there's a region in Turkey called Cappadocia. I had like the chalk witches' hats, the whole region of chalk witches' hats, like 200, 300 meters high. It's very much like that, but granite with heavy continental iron. Now we're going to. So yeah, how to make them, and everything has to be light, and everything has to have has to have more than one use. So I'll get there. I'll have the spark, but just not yet. Also, I've got an army to paint that I want to introduce you to, but it's not quite ready yet. But this next year I'll be introducing you to a lot more Chinese armies too. But you rock, mate. Thank you, Jameson. There you go, Grim. Jameson found my email. There you go. Oh, I really appreciate that. And so, with all that said, it being a Sunday, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go make myself another cup of tea, spend a little bit of time with my wife, and then go up and finish my game. So on that note, I'll say goodbye. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your encouragement. and have a great day. See ya. Bye. Let's figure out how I stop this now.